Hello everyone, welcome back to the SRC Chassis channel. I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one here. This is an old slot car that I've had for quite some time. It was old when I got it. I don't know what chassis it has. I do know it's a spring steel, whether it's laser cut. I don't know if that was a thing, but I know I've had this car for about 17 years. It was pretty old when I got it. It used to have a different body on it when I got it. It was not much better than this one, but this one was something that as a young teenager I had a body laying around. I wasn't really into a whole lot of attention to detail then. It was just kind of hurry up and put something together and run it. So I'm going to kind of take you guys along. I'm going to pull this apart, try and clean up what I can of the rust, put new wheels, new tires, new motor, maybe a new gear, just kind of freshen it up. I do have a fresh body that's going to go on here. It seems to be pretty close to the same thing. It is a CUDA body instead of a Challenger, but this here, it's one of those things. This car was never really I mean, it was a bracket car for entry, but the tires on it are pretty well dry rotted and pretty rock solid, and it was something to run, but it was never super consistent just because of old tires. And I mean, I don't know, it was just something to run. So I'm going to take and refresh it, maybe make it something a little more reliable and a little bit more consistent, and kind of go from there. But this is the start. I may do a few different changes to it. I don't know if I'm going to try and, it appears that it was blued, like a blued spring steel. I don't know if I'm going to try and do that or just clean it up and maybe paint it. I don't know. Kind of one of those things where I don't really have anything in it right at the moment, so maybe make it something more presentable and add it to the box. This here is the fresh body that I have for it. I've had this body for a while. It was actually painted this green. I did add the gray, like the gunmetal, everything that's gray I had to paint. But the main body was green already when I got it. It was in a kit that was open. Nobody had finished it. Added the metal foil around the windows, glued the windows in, added the water slide decals. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than that body there, so figure make the chassis a little bit nicer, put this body on, put some fresh wheels and tires, new motor, and yeah, we'll go from there and hopefully have a nice car by the time we're all done. I don't really have a great tripod. I just got a little 3-leg short one that's sitting on the desk here. I'm gonna try to get the best shots that I can here. Was good for a 14-year-old kid that didn't have a whole lot of money to mess around with starting out. That's where you can kind of make it out. It says A-Town Challenger. That was for the Attica model car dragway where I first started. See how rusty and they get just sitting around, and that right there, try and kind of see that guide tongue was not even soldered anymore. It says Parma on the can, but I was told that it was possibly an old Mura, possibly, if I'm not mistaken. I guess the purple arm. I know that this motor was very, very slow. In the scale quarter mile, I think it was like 1.1 seconds or something like that. And you can see there's no weight added to it. I don't remember what that equates to in the scale eighth mile, like 0.8, 0.9, somewhere in there. But I ran it a while back, and it just, even being a very, very low power motor, these tires are just so old and dry rotted that it just spin. Didn't matter the amount of glue that I put down, it wasn't happy. Kind of try and straighten it out. Can't really see, but this little bearing plate, I guess, is not very square in it. Just try and make it happier. Try and put that extra attention to detail to it. I say, again, it was an old chassis when I got it 17 years ago, so try and make it a little bit more presentable. I probably will end up running a Pro slot motor. I'm a pretty big fan of them. They're pretty good out of the box for their, especially if you get their blueprint, or not necessarily blueprinted, but they're a sealed motor, so I think they have a balanced arm. And I did a little bit of messing around with some 3D printed. I still have them. Actually did a 3D printed carbon chassis with carbon fiber rod that I haven't run yet, but I did the 3D printed chassis with stainless rod. And the thing with a 16D has gone like a Super 16D has gone faster than any other slot car that I've had that had a Super 16D, and it wasn't anything blueprinted, no balanced arm, or it may have a balanced arm, but it was just straight out of the pack. The thing went, it was at the scale eighth mile. The thing ran, I'm trying to remember, I want to say it was down in the 650s, 0.650 in the scale eighth mile, and it just, being a super lightweight chassis with essentially like depends on what track you're at, but somewhere around the $16 to $20 range for one of those motors. So I mean, 650s out of a $20 motor, that's pretty respectable in my opinion, at least from the experience that I've had. But at least I know it was the little old oil lights were running good. I'll probably upgrade it to bearings, which isn't a must, but it's just one of those things. I have them, so I might as well put them in. It spun over pretty nice and free. Everything is just so corroded from sitting around lots of years. I'll work on pulling that off later. It's pretty stuck. And there's the main portion of our chassis pieces. Pretty simple chassis, really. Pretty nice, simple design. Very simple little layout, 5 pieces. Now everything is unsoldered. I think I'm just going to sand everything since it's so rusty already. I'm not too worried about keeping the bluing on it. I'll either clear coat it once it's done or paint it somewhere along those lines. But that is the plan. All I have here is just a 5-inch sticky back DA sander paper. It's 80 grit. Even this little front piece here that holds I guess it's the front axle, holds the front wheels, is just very pitted. I don't know if the camera can really pick it up there. Which I kind of figured it's not going to turn out perfect how rusty it is. I may try and see if I can get some rust converter to soak these pieces in, but overall, for the most part, if it were just painted, I think once it's all resoldered back together, I think it'll look fine. And the same on this. Just a lot of pitting. Still really pitted, but definitely a lot better.